Hi everybody, thank you for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.blogspot.co.uk. Today's project uses what was probably my favourite stamp set from last year's seasonal catalogue. Very pleased to see that it made it over into the annual catalogue. It's called Wonderful Wreaths and it allows you to build up this gorgeous multi-tone wreath design. It is a multi-step stamp set. That is a mouthful to say, but basically there's those three stamps which end up with this gorgeous pattern here. I'm not going to show you how to stamp it in this video, but I will upload a separate video to show you how you stamp it if you haven't seen that done before. The stamp set comes with matching framelits, so you can cut out the gorgeous wreath. And also it has a framelit for doing the centre, and it also has this word Noel, and it has a bow and some little flowers. It's quite a good value framelit, so check that out and think about getting that if you are thinking about buying the stamp set. So let's get on with showing you how the box works and how we make it. So the ribbon is actually a belly band which slides off along with our stamped image, and inside what I have done is I have put a selection of Christmas gift tags made using that stamp set. So we've got ones that I have stamped out, and then the to and from is also in the stamp set in the middle, and just tied those up with a bit of gold ribbon. And then this one I have stamped exactly the same, and then the word joy also comes from the same stamp set. So in this box I've got 12 of those gorgeous tags, and I've made a little divider in the middle to separate them. So I think that would make a really lovely gift, and I think they'd sell really well at craft fairs, and it's really simple to make. You can do a lot of these quite quickly. This one is Cherry Cobbler as my primary colour, and then we've used Old Olive and Mossy Meadow for the leaves with a Cherry Cobbler berries. But we do a slightly different colour combination, and we'll go for sort of cooler tones. I'll show you the tags I made first. So this is the Joy one. So this time I have used Lost Lagoon, Smoky Slate and Night of Navy for the berries, and then cut out the word Joy using silver foil. And the same for the other tag design there as well, using the same colours. So we are going to use Lost Lagoon as our box base, starting with a piece of cardstock that measures 8 by 11. And all we're going to do is start by scoring this on all four sides at 1 inch. One inch there, and then the last side here also at 1 inch. Then I'm going to turn it back round, so one of our longer sides is at the top, and we're going to score it at 5 inches and it's 6 inches. Okay, just like that. Just going to put that to one side for a moment. I'm going to bring in another piece of Lost Lagoon that measures 7.5 by 3 7/8 of an inch. We are going to score this at 3 inches, 3 3/4 of an inch, and at 4.5 inches. Okay, that's going to make our divider, but we'll come to that in a moment. Okay, let's bring back in the larger piece. Move the scoreboard out of the way. And firstly, we're going to fold and burnish those score lines. Okay, and then the 2 in the middle. And then with our scissors, we are going to cut up each of these score lines here. Okay. Just 2 on this, that's a few on this side. And then just notch out those flaps. That one there we go. Okay, nearly getting there. Last two. As you know, this just makes it a much more professional finish when you fold up your box. Let's move all those scraps out of the way. Gonna put it together using some fuse. And it doesn't matter which, but one side is obviously going to be your lid. So we're going to put some fuse on there to begin with, and we'll make up our base first. So we're going to just fold in those sides there and there. And then these two flaps are going to fold up and stick to this side. So a little bit more fuse on those two flaps. Okay, so we can fold those up, and that is going to go on there like that. And then the same on the other side. Here we go. Okay. And then we can fold this over, and we can see how our box is going to seal up. So we're going to put some more fuse on the this side of these two flaps finally. Okay. And what I find, just to make sure it is going to close, is just fold the box up and squeeze that into place there. Fold this one round. And we'll squeeze that one down there as well. Okay, what I did on the example is I cut out a little notch there, just a little finger hole to make it easier. I think I did this using the 1-inch circle punch. Forgotten to get that out, so if you're doing this at home, I'd recommend you just cut that little notch out there. To make up our dividers for our tags, going to bring in that other piece of cardstock we made. And we just want to concertina fold that middle bit. So that is, also heard them called mountains and valley folding. So you're going to do a valley, then a mountain, then a valley. So it kind of looks like that. And I'm going to put a bit of snail along this central section here, so that when I fold that up, that will stay up for me like that. And that's just going to fit, hopefully, perfectly in the bottom of your box. A little bit of Tombow just to keep that into position again. You could use the fuse, you could even probably use snail for this, because it doesn't particularly need to be very strong. So just popping that back into the bottom of my box. There we go. Okay. At this point you would pop in your tags. I've only made 2 at the moment for this example, and then we'll close it up. And to keep it closed, we're going to make a belly band, just like in the example. So I've got some, this is the 1/4 inch white jute ribbon. And a little tip for you is, I've cut out, I've stamped and cut out my image ready for my wreaths. And I'm going to put that upside down in the middle of my box. And I'm going to use a glue dot, or 2, probably 2, to stick down the ribbon like this onto my band, and then, sorry, the ribbon onto my stamped image. Then I'm going to pull this round like this. Okay, I'm going to cut that off to the length that I want it to be, so we've got a little bit of an overlap. Okay, and then some more glue dots. And here, and here. Oh, clatter. And then just pull that taut round, stick that into position. You can put some more glue dots on the other side as well to hold that into position. Put some Tombow glue. And then what I've got here, when I find it, here we go, is just another wreath shape that I've just cut out in Whisper White. And what you need to do, and it's a little bit fiddly, I might have got really lucky there, yeah, is just line that up on top. A generous application of Tombow both over the ribbon and on the side bits. See if I can match that up again. I should have kept that, shouldn't I? Once I found it, I shouldn't have moved it so far away. There we go. I think that's going to line up there. There we go. And stick that down. Okay. Then if you peel the ribbon off and turn that round, you've got your stamped image the right way up. Okay. And then you can just going to give that a second more for that tumble to dry. Give it a bit of a squeeze together. There we go. And then we can push that back onto our box. There we go. Okay, just like that. Final touch is I've cut out the word Noel. Now this word comes in the framelits that match the wreath. And I can use some of my fine glue pen on the back of the word Noel to stick that down. You need to make sure that you're keeping it the glue on the bit that's going to go over the wreath, because it will overhang slightly and you don't want it to stick to the box. Just give that again a minute to stick. And there we go, that is our second gift tag box. I'll bring this one back in so you can see them both. Two different colour schemes, both equally very Christmassy. If you'd like to see how I did this stamping, pop over and see that video. And if you would like to order any Stampin' Up products, it would be my pleasure to help, so please get in touch. Thanks a lot, bye bye.